It is very possible in Kenya today that we're dealing with something that we don't know, something that we have no idea about, and indeed something shocking. Okay? Now yesterday, a very bizarre incident unfolded on social media. There are multiple posts, at least 2, announcing to Kenyans that President William Samoei Ruto's cows, one of them, had given birth to triplets. And in both the 2 posts announcing this very unique occurrence, allegedly, the people posting these photographs told us that this is a sign of better things to come for Kenyans. 5 years of economic prosperity, pesa kwa kila mfuko kind of thing, and generally good tidings, good times for Kenyans. Now I know most of us are not farmers. I also happen to know that most of us hate farming. Okay? So I need to inform you that a cow giving birth to triplets is a very, very rare occurrence. It happens, but it is extremely rare. It is much more common in goats and sheep. Yeah, it happens once in a while. But cows, very rare. Now, the first thing that hawk-eyed Kenyans noticed was that the photos being posted were of different animals. Yeah, in one particular one, I think the one that went most viral, the cow had brown spots, and in the other one, black ones. And so somebody posed the question, which lie do you guys want us to believe? But the drama did not end there. A few hours later, hawk-eyed Kenyans, very alert, not easy to fool, yeah, some people may think, had managed to fish out photographs of those particular cows. You see, there's an app, a kind of software, and it is absolutely mind-boggling that those doing propaganda for UDA and Ruto are not aware of this app. It is just mind-boggling. Well, the way this software works is that you load a photograph and it will be able to quickly trace online the origins of that photograph, where else it was posted. And therefore it was not very hard work finding the original source of those photographs. Yeah, both outside the country, of course. And somebody commented that the propaganda of UDA is not even coordinated. A simple thing like having a meeting and agreeing to pull in the same direction is not happening. Now that is what happened. But in my video today, I would like to focus on something that caught my attention, because this has happened before. Oh yes, believe it or not, this has happened before in our history. And so I want to share with you a few mind-boggling facts that are very closely linked to this blunder, yeah, within UDA, and are also linked to the implications, what it tells us, yeah, even politically, especially politically, because it's all about politics. Now, you know, you can tell a lie to save yourself. You can tell a lie to avoid hurting somebody's feelings. But you can also tell a lie, and by the way, all this is wrong before Almighty God. You should never lie. Yeah, I refer you to the verse in the Bible about the fate of liars in the end. But many of us tell those lies to save ourselves, to save somebody embarrassment, to avoid hurting somebody's feelings. But then the other lies, which are absolutely unnecessary. You're telling a lie that is not helping you immediately. You're telling a lie that is not saving your skin. You're just so used to telling lies. You tell lies all the time, anywhere, anytime. Yeah. In English and among psychologists, those kind of liars are called pathological liars. It is even more interesting why people tell these kinds of lies. Now, just a fascinating aside. The tribe my late dad hails from, the Kamba, have many people amongst them who are pathological liars. They love to tell a lie. Yeah, that's not saving their skin. That has no immediate reason to be told. Why not just tell the truth? But here is the stuff that will really blow your mind. These lies being told online, yeah, next to promises that life in Kenya is going to get better under this government, which very few Kenyans would ever believe, judging by what has happened so far and continues to happen. This incident is linked to something that has happened before in our history. Consider the possibility, and you might want to sit down for this one. Consider the possibility that those around the president, those close to the president, are trying to build the confidence of the president as he settles in to the presidency. Now, let me tell you a brief story from our past. When Kenya's first president and founding father, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, passed on in August 1978, very suddenly, Moi was not in a frame of mind to take over the presidency of the Republic of Kenya. For starters, he feared for his life, because he knew very well what the Kiambu Mafia were capable of. And of course his fears were not unjustified. But when he finally got into Nairobi and was received by the then Attorney General, Charles Mugane Njonjo, who was anxiously waiting for Moi to supervise his swearing in as acting president, a very curious scene unfolded. Multiple sources tell us that Moi refused to be sworn in as president. He didn't want the presidency. Hawa Wakikuyu watanimaliza. Bwana Njonjo had to do a lot of reassuring. Now, I know this may be difficult to believe. The way people do anything and everything to become president of Kenya. The way people lust after this position. They think about it day and night, if they're anywhere close to it. One would be excused for imagining the opposite. Wondering why it had taken so long. This presidency has taken so long to come to me. Give it to me. Where's the Bible? Let it be Biblia. Swear me in quickly. I can't wait to get into the office. That is the kind of scenario most of us would imagine. But Moi was terrified of the presidency. To cut a long story short, finally Moi was convinced and he took the oath of office. If you review those videos taken at around that time, I believe some of them on YouTube, you will see very clearly from his body language that Moi is very unsure of himself, very uncertain, terrified. That comes out very clearly in his body language. And so it took quite some time for Moi to settle into office as president of Kenya. And again, I agree, this may be difficult for youngsters to believe. People are not there. I get comments from them all the time. From the old videos I do, especially on Moi. Chris, stop reading the wrong history books. And of course I respond, I'm not reading anywhere. I was there. And I was a journalist already, even though I didn't cover politics in those days. But I observed what was happening. I heard rumors. I listened to people talking. I read people's biographies many years later. Yeah, and I can assure you the information I'm giving you is 100% accurate. That is what happened. And all this uncertainty and fear in Moi, where he needed to be given confidence, is perfectly illustrated by what happened very early in his presidency. He used to ride in his presidential limousine with 3 other gentlemen, namely Charles Njonjo, Gigi Kariuki, and Nicholas Kipiator Biwott. Now, protocol doesn't allow that because there are so many issues, security issues, etc., etc. The president should never ride with any other politicians in his vehicle. Yeah, the only person who can ride with him, of course, is his wife. And so Kenyans those days started referring to Moi and his 3 wives. You are talking about the 3 gentlemen who rode in the official presidential limousine with him everywhere he went. And the efforts to boost the confidence of the new, very unsure, reluctant president went beyond that. Every time Moi left the country, in those years there was no presidential jet, so he left on a commercial flight, usually Kenya Airways. Every time he left the country, on his return, immediately he entered Kenyan airspace. The commercial aircraft would be intercepted by Kenya Air Force jets. And these jets would escort him, believe it or not, all the way to the airport where Moi landed. And then later, they would fly past and he would salute. So I guess when Moi was seated on his seat in the aircraft, trying to lift himself up, trying to encourage himself, that he could actually fit in these very big shoes Jomo Kenyatta had left him, he would look out of the window and he would see Kenya Air Force jets flying side by side with the commercial airline, and I guess his confidence would be boosted. Kweli mimi ni president. Kweli, hii ni evidence. Kweli mimi ni president. I'd better start behaving like one. I'd better start feeling that I am one. Something like that. Now, super fascinatingly, a few years ago, the Nation newspaper carried an article from one of the Air Force pilots who was involved in that project. And they told a very, very fascinating story of how one day things went very wrong. A combination of factors, but mainly bad weather, caused one of those Air Force jets to crash. But fortunately, the pilot ejected himself before the plane crashed. Therefore, he survived. He was safe. But a valuable asset of the nation called Kenya was destroyed. For what? Think about it. Now, if I can take your mind back to what happened when the Supreme Court in 2013 declared Uhuru Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto validly elected as President and Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. If you can cast your mind back to what happened that time, and especially how William Ruto behaved, you will agree with me that Ruto then was more than overwhelmed. He campaigned, of course, very hard. He was key to that presidential team making it. But then in the end, when he finally got it, it seems that he was almost overwhelmed. At the beginning, there are those incidences of crying in church, etc., etc. And many people have talked about how this UDA government does not seem to have been ready for the presidency. It's like they are more shocked than we are, that they actually made it, they're actually in State House, that actually William Ruto is the president. And they don't even seem to have an agenda. They have very little to say, apart from blaming Uhuru Kenyatta and the handshake for everything. And so it is not hard to imagine that those close to State House and UDA may be trying to do what was being done to Moi in 1978, 79, 80. when he was having difficulties believing that he was the president of Kenya, when Moi was having difficulties settling in his new position as president of the Republic of Kenya, or simply POC, as many of you like to say. Could it be that this is what is happening with a story like yesterday's story of cows, or a cow which gave birth to triplets? Because even psychologists tell us the reason why pathological liars tell lies, one of the reasons, is to create a false image of themselves. Could this be what is happening? Because we saw clearly on social media what we were being told was a lie. And there are so many other lies from the UDA government. Okay? Definitely food for thought. Yeah. As mind-bending as it is, definitely food for thought. Now, many of you are taking advantage of my latest weekly intelligence briefings offer. Yeah, details on your screen right now. As you know, I am working on the next weekly intelligence briefing, number 105, which is packed with sensitive information. Yeah, and it takes a little time to put all this information together and to confirm from sources and to ensure that the facts stated are correct and that they will stand the test of time. And so there's a window of opportunity, as I'm super busy working on this WIB, for you to take full advantage of the current offer, so that when 105 comes out, you will be there, you will be in, and you'll not have any issues or worries about getting your hands on the WIB with information that you feel you must have. Yeah, because as I've said many times, the information now, most of it, the one which really matters, is highly sensitive. Yeah, and I'll be sharing this in my WIBs. So don't let this opportunity pass you by. Many already have taken advantage of it. And I know there are many more of you out there who are interested in taking advantage of this. Yeah, so please go ahead. Until next time, this is Chris. Kumekucha.